So yo, yeah. Oh.
So AKINSANMI, I have Dr. AKINSANMI with me tonight. Dr. AKINSANMI, if you can just probably raise up your hand so that people will know who you are. Thank you. I know you are very, common in the community, but sometimes we still need to be recognized and things like that. Also, I have our outgoing artistic director, person of Madam Comfort Ero, with us tonight. Madam, thank you for all that you've done all these years, and I know that you are not leaving us. Physically, you might not be with us all the time, but I know spiritually, your heart, you are with us. And also with us tonight is the incoming artistic director, Mrs. Naomi Owobowale. Naomi, if you can just indicate by raising up your hand so that people know who you are. And of course, we have our able executive director, the person of Dr. Adade. It doesn't need any introduction because almost everyone in the community might have, come across him through interaction or through events or things that are happening in the community. I also want to recognize our admin assistant, Ms. Ivy Owusu Answer to us. Ivy, thank you for your labor of love that you do on behalf of African Stages. African Stages Association of BC is a charity organization here in British Columbia. And also we are dedicated to promoting Africa theaters through storytelling, dance, drama, and poems. We use theater to reach out and educate communities around us, thereby promoting harmony in the community. We also use performing arts to empower new immigrants and refugee youths in facing their challenges in their new country, Canada. We use dance, drama, events to raise funds for some of our programs that benefit the community we serve. This we have not been able to do for the past couple of years because of the COVID. For those of us that have been around for quite a while, you might have had the opportunity of attending either one or two of our events. We've been around most of the community centers around the Lower Mainland in terms of organizing events. I know Madam Ero started this long time ago at the Roundhouse in Vancouver. We used to be very prominent in the Roundhouse in Vancouver. And also we use storytelling to address bullying, racism among our youths in schools and also in community around us here in the Lower Mainland, Fraser Valley, and sometimes up north, the northern BC, and also in the island. So African Stages, it's a well-known artistic storytelling, drama organization here in BC. Also, for the past couple of years, because of the COVID, we've not been able to organize events outside, but we've been doing a lot of things through Zoom. And I want to personally thank Dr. Adade for the initiative that he has brought to the table as some of the project that we've implemented for the past couple of years. I want to assure every one of you that we'll be in the communities shortly and will be more powerful than the way we were before the COVID. And I want to thank everyone again for honoring our invitation. And I want to encourage you to enjoy the show tonight. Show tonight in the sense that we're having different aspects of the show. And it's something that started beginning of this month, which is the Black History Month. I've attended a lot of the events that are taking place, and I know our event tonight also will contribute to that African Black History Month that we are celebrating. So let's celebrate together tonight. And also, we should not just make it that February each year is the only Black History Month that we celebrate anything African or on a daily basis. So thank you. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson of the Board of Directors, Mr. Osakue Ukponrefe.
We have always been here. We are the indigenous people of these lands, the First Peoples. Canada is indigenous land. Our roots are deep all across this country. We have been here for thousands of years. Indigenous people include First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. There are over 600 distinct indigenous communities all across these lands. There are over 60 different indigenous languages.
Kela kasla yo nukwa tali sila okwa kayatan lak muskamak tawa deno kayatan lakwa Uwanga paniavluk Lillian Elias Inyuving Min Maunga Kai Kavit Kowe Huktunga Mani Rutikran Kowe Naktuakun Ililugu
White Haskell Geld Gulimlimt Bijap.
Sego se wego arliwayos ni yung gats. Ganyuk kahaga ni wagu punchodo that no at nowhere ni wagitarlodo. Wagatanuni jigar isis. What when you porlado gino hoda lorina dunkwane ganada.
Nina Michelle Sliboy Deluisi. Atlewi Unamai. Waldi Betidayo Irish Sis Hamo Deluidi Canada.
Tansena Kumaganak, Magdalene is Nakasun, Sakaski Squint at Tehkawin, Sakatawaku Tehnia.
Indigenous communities are richly diverse. We have our own languages, belief systems, laws, but we also have common traditions. We share the understanding that we are connected to each other and all life on Earth. It's important to give back and never take too much. Our laws are based upon ancient knowledge of how to live in balance with the Earth and make decisions that benefit all living things, past, present, and future. We are caretakers of our lands. In the 1500s, European settlers came here with very different values. They said our lands were free for the taking, and they took over most of our lands and resources. Ignoring our laws and our systems of governance, the newcomers said they were the founders, and they put themselves in charge of the new government. They imposed laws such as the Indian Act and Reserve System, which limited our rights and excluded us from the new society being built on our lands. They tried to change who we are as Indigenous people. For many years, important ceremonies, like the potlatch and Sundance, were made illegal. The Canadian government created the residential school system, run by churches, from the 1800s until 1996. Over 150,000 Indigenous children were forcibly removed from their families and taken to residential schools where they were forbidden to speak their languages and practice their cultures. Abuse and mistreatment were very common. Today, Canada still has much healing to do in order to have equality and justice for Indigenous people. For example, Almost half of all children in the foster care system are Indigenous. Over 150 Indigenous communities in Canada don't have clean water to drink. We are still working to protect our homelands and uphold our laws. Canada has apologized for the wrongs of the residential school system. There is a movement to build better relationships and to recognize that Canada was built upon the lands and resources of the First Peoples. We have survived. We are strong and resilient. We are reclaiming control of our education and restoring our languages. We are the fastest growing and youngest population in Canada. These will always be our homelands. Our lands are our history and our future. The land is us. The land is our language.
Keep the ways that we've always had. It still lives inside.
We share this land. Let's work together to heal the wrongs of our country and build a bright future for all.
And I would like to welcome you to Canada.
I welcome you to Canada. I'm very glad that you chose this country to be your new homeland. I hope that we will meet one day as friends. Palalio.
From the ground up, we'll find the path home. Feel pulled by the sun, wish I can go. We learn from the past, now we can grow. We're promised a chance that the plans show. Go big, go far, there are no limits. I wanna see change, so my soul lives it. They cut down the trees, while we blow kisses. Defend our home while they dismiss us.
Storytelling by our one and only one, Madam Errol, the outgoing artistic director of African Stages Association of BC. Stories are us, and we are stories. In the beginning was the Word, according to the Bible, and the Word was with God. That shows the importance of stories. Stories make us, and we make stories. Madam Errol has continued that story, that tradition. And in Africa, it is the oral tradition that guides our people to educate, to socialize their young ones using allegories, using animals, fables, to make these stories about morals, upright behavior palatable and easy to assimilate. So today we are going to see our Madam Errol tell her story.
Hello everyone, my name is Comfort. Today I'm going to tell you a story titled Zua and the Magic Gourd. Tohyo Yahya Mo. A very long time ago in a village in Africa, there lived a girl called Zua. She was an orphan who lived with her stepmother and her stepsister called Afatu. The stepmother and Afatu made Zua do all the work in the house and in the field. Late one evening, as Zua was about to sleep, her stepmother came into her room and yelled, "Zua, how dare you sleep when there's no water for me to have a bath in the morning?" "Iye, Mom," said Zua, "I will go tomorrow early in the morning to the river." "No," the stepmother shouted, "go and fetch the water right away." Zua ran to the river crying. At the river, she stopped to enjoy the beauty of the stars when suddenly her gourd slipped off her hands and went deep into the river without thinking twice. Zuwa took a dive into the river to look for the god. As soon as her feet touched the riverbed, she was surprised to find herself in a small village. A very old woman came out of one of the huts. Zuwa knelt down to greet the old lady. "What do you want here, my dear little child?" the old lady asked. "Wise one, I lost my gourd and I have come down here to search for it." Zuwa replied. "Come with me," said the old lady. Zuwa followed her. She was shown a big hut full of gods, various sizes and colors and shapes, all yelling, "Take me, pick me, me, here, pick me." Zuwa was at first, she was confused. Then she saw one small god. "This is mine," she said thankfully. "Are you sure those golden colored ones are not yours?" asked the old lady. "They are not mine. Thank you, wise mama," said Zuwa. Zuwa was about to go away when the old woman stopped her. "Listen carefully, my dear child. Take this little gourd in addition to yours. When you get home, go into your room, close the door and smash it, and whatever you get from it is all yours. Do you hear me?" "Yes, wise man," Zuwa replied timidly. Then the old lady said some magic words, and almost immediately Zuwa found herself on the surface of the river. She fetched her water with her own gourd and took it home along with a small gourd as instructed by the old lady. When she got home, she did as she was told by the elderly lady at the bottom of the river. When she broke the small gourd, her heart became filled with shimmering and priceless jewels. She ran to call her stepmother to come and see the wonder of the magic gourd, and she offered some of her wealth to them, to the stepmother and her stepsister. Her stepmother refused to take any of it. Instead, she decided to send her own daughter Afatu to the river. Afatu went to the river, drowned her gourd by force, swam after it, and found a little village at the bottom of the river. The old woman came out. Afatu yelled at her, "Old woman, I want my magic gourd right now. Show me where you have hidden it." She was shown the gourds. They were all shouting, "Me, pick me, here, me, pick me." She saw her own gourd, but she ignored it. Instead, she fixed her eyes on a very big gourd that shouted loudest. With her heart full of greed, she picked it up. "Are you sure that is your gourd?" asked the old lady. "Of course it is," Afatu snapped back at her. The old woman gave her a little gourd, but she declined it, but instead snatched another big gourd all by herself. She became very impatient to go away. The old woman helped her to the surface of the river by some magic words. Afatu did not have any word of thanks in her heart. She did not fetch any water with either of the gods with her. Instead, she ran straight home to her mother. Together, they went into Afatu's hut, locked the doors, and they broke the two big gods. From the gods came all sorts of reptiles, wild animals, bugs such as snakes, lizards, and poisonous spiders, which chased the two of them far into the jungle. They were never seen again. As for Zuwa, she used her newfound wealth to develop the village, and she and the village people lived in the community happily ever after. The end. Thank you for listening, everybody. Until next time, bye.
Oh, that was a story indeed. I wish I were there. Actually, do you know, I was there. I was there. You know, I saw all this, you know, the happenings, and I actually advised that lady, all right, to go to the riverside. Anyway, now let's continue. The next item on the agenda is ASABC Youth Theatre Group.
are not strong. If we don't teach the children to be strong and grounded, well grounded in their own culture, they will not be proud of who they are.
I wasn't like talking to people much because I was too shy to like mostly make new friends. And also because of my skin color, people sometimes would like not really accept me. I used to not like tell people that I'm African, but now I nearly tell people that I'm African, and I'm proud of it.
At African stages, we use African performing arts of storytelling, dancing, singing, drumming to empower our youth and to deal mainly with the issues they face in the community and in their schools, like bullying and segregation and stigmatization.
The stories that we did of examples about how people are being bullied, how we can learn how to get the bullies away from us, how to treat it peacefully.
Like it teaches you life lessons and like not to bully other people just because of their culture.
When we're telling stories, they each have lessons. So when you know a lesson, it's like a goal in life to be a better person.
It's not something that we're like just remembering and then showing. It's something that we have, that it's a part of us. We do it, we use it in our everyday lives.
I'm not afraid of like people bullying me because I know it's not true, and I could always help them to be nice to other people and also me. My favorite story is Lion, Rat, and the Rabbit, because like what if that you're in that situation and you're being mean to everybody, but nobody helped you. So if you help them and they help you back, it's gonna be fair. I'm a rat in The Lion, the Rat, and the Rabbit. The rat teaches people like to always help people, even if it's your worst enemy.
The storytelling and the other performing arts have their strength in empowering the youth to move ahead with who they want to be in life and to also embrace other people around them.
So when we're performing on stage, it looks pretty easy, but it isn't. Sometimes you make mistakes on stage, and that's what helps us to be better and better.
You interact with the audience even while you're dancing, even though they don't know you. It's kind of cool that way. The audience, I think they get that we can do greater things than what we can imagine. I feel excited to show people what I can do.
It's small, but it's building communities gradually like that.
Honestly, I'm really grateful to like African Stages because it's done a lot for me. Like I wish so many other kids could have the opportunity that I have here. It's priceless.
When the children write you and tell you, thank you very much. Well, I didn't realize it when I was there, but now I know what you taught me was very useful.
Now when I join Story Powering Our Youth, like I don't really care what people think about me. I'm grateful that I can be African.
Tohyo!
Yeah, bo!
Tohyo means I have a story to tell. And bo means tell it, we are listening.
That was that powerful presentation. I told you, it's very powerful, very educative, informative, and inspiring. Yes, they are now adults. They are now young adults in the community, and they are, translating the lessons they learned through the theater into their everyday lived experiences, and they are a blessing to the community. So African Stages, thank you for doing this to our community. Arts exhibition time, and our sister, the newly crowned artistic director, Naomi Owobowale, is going to show us some art.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Madam Merrill. Thank you, Chairman. And I love art. I hope everybody can hear me. I've always grown up in the art line, and I love painting. When I was in school, we did the competition in West Africa, and I took the 6th position in the whole of West Africa in my time. So I've always loved it as a passion. And I'm just going to be showing paintings. The reason why I've been painting, when I came, I started thinking about being able to say stories with my paintings so the kids can see. It's different when you're reading a storybook, and then when you're saying story, then you can show them. And I love the African settings. I always love the village scenes, the tortoise and all that. So I'm just going to show you some of the artworks that I do, and then so you could see it. I love bright colors. I love to let the kids know what the village settings are like, with the pots behind and kids, parents with yam and all that. That's one. And then I love the animal scenes. As people can see the monkey. This is a story that has to do with the monkey that comes to steal in the night, and the neighbors did not know. And like for this is the lands of the gods. If you're naughty and evil, the gods, you can see the heads of the gods that are there, and the kids are able to look. And then, so this story talks about kindness, why they were able to pass through the forest, because the gods allowed them to. I just say stories and things like that. I love stories of animals. I tried to make how the animal kingdom had a meeting. You could see all the animals there permanently and everything. I love story of Mr. Tortoise. He thought he was smart with the eagles, So these are stories that I have to tell, showing the kids and things like that. I also have stories of children who are going to school, and how one was naughty. If you look by the tree further down there, one of the child wanted to go and steal from an apple tree. So I do stories like that, Hope you can see it very well. Like I said, I love artwork, I love painting, I love theater, and I just do stories that people can see. And then these are like stories. I tell the children to take a look and be able to explain what they see here. And I made a story out of it. I know it looks a little bit weird, but there's a story in it. This is a story that I talked about somebody going in the night to peek and cheat, while the other brothers and sisters, she went to steal the cake. Stories just to explain to the people. Nowadays, the kids that we talk to, they love dragons. Everybody knows they love dragons, right? So this is the story of the dragon that could not fly, and the mummy dragon, due to the eating and overeating of the blue tree at the back there. And if you look at the back all the way there, there's a little boy, and that's a story else to go. Okay. So just to have that. And then I have a story of the maidens, the 3 beautiful maidens that went to the river, just stories to show our dressing, our culture, and how we fetch water in those days, and how you can see two of the maidens were together, they left the other one, and just to talk about the bullying aspect, and because she's more tall, beautiful, her hair was longer than, just stories just to tell people, just appreciate yourself and just be who you are. This is my favorite, because I came from a village that our houses were like this before, So when I remember, if you look at very well, kids sitting on the floor, playing, so many things. You can see the canoe at the riverside, all packed, for people to. So I love things like that. So yes, so I have many more. The one that's exciting me that I'm ready to share with the kids is this one. You can see the wife is fully pregnant, and he found a goldfish in the sea, and the fish begged and begged, please let me go. And then the stories to be talked about, why his wife, the fully pregnant woman, and all the drama she did. So these are all stories to be told. I still have many more, but this is about a little boy that suffered a lot, stories to be told, and how at the end he was rewarded for his goodness. While the woman and her two children, you can see her two children at the back sitting down, So like I said, I love painting a lot. And then this is Tortoise. I know some of you might know the story, how he went to go and steal. So I just love kids to just see, when you steal, and how he put the hot yam in his head, if you take a look at it, and how he was sweating. So these are stories that I want them to see. I want them to be able to feel it, and then, and the consequences of stealing. So yes, like I have other paintings and other things, but I love painting. I love painting. I love anything art. I love storytelling, and yes, these are my exhibitions that I just wanted to just show that I've used in being able to say stories, and would love to say stories to children. Thank you very much.
Before you get it, the last one she just showed that has to do with the tortoise and then the porridge. If you grew up in Africa, or especially in Nigeria, you will hear that story to warn you about doing bad things, things that will happen, and hiding things, sneaking things here and there. So thank you, Naomi, for showing us this tonight.
Yes, and she's really ready for the work. That's going to help you a lot. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was very rich. I'm going to ask you a question. When I was growing up, I also was fascinated, with dragons. All right, and I asked, are dragons real? And I never got an answer. All right, or the answers were not convincing. So, Madam Naomi, are dragons real?
Well, with all the findings and the big bones and things that we've seen before now that man came, I would want to say I believe that they were there.
Okay.
I believe that dragons were there before.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We heard from the experts. Beautiful. So let's continue, plug it on. We're going to have the Ghana youth cultural dancers performing.
the only thing I go do is to dance crazy shakuta. All the fine girls where you holiday, the holiday when I step in the yard. Any day, I'll give it to you, baby. So why, what girl? Go why, oh my girl. Now come dance to the beat, bend down, go that, bend down, dance to the beat, bend down, all night. Now come dance to the beat, bend down, go that, bend down, dance to the beat, bend down, all night. Everybody go to my toe, bend down, bend down, everybody go to my toe, bend down, bend down. No te pides casar, así que por como te mola. I go so in my car, bend down, baby, dance up and down. No te pides casar, así que por como te mola. I go so in my car, bend down, baby, dance up and down. My baby, oh my baby, got my honey, oh my baby, got my baby, oh my baby, got my honey. Everybody do my do. The way you dance me, I like that. Everybody do my do.
The one that you just saw is High Life. High Life, you know, music and dancing. I'm sure the majority of you are familiar with High Life, you know, music and dancing. When I was growing up, I lived on high life. I ate and breathed and danced high life all the time, especially when I was in the village, right? We used to have village parties and and I couldn't dance, all right? I couldn't dance. I was only just shaking my head like that. I couldn't even drum. I didn't know how to drum.
Beautiful. I really enjoyed it.
They are Vancouver based, our own homegrown girls.
Oh, I thought they were in Ghana.
No, they're here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
My observation is that I have discovered talent. Sister Naomi, we will be organizing a women's platform for her to come train us on with us.
That's right. That's right.
It's wonderful. It is spectacular. I love it. It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
I didn't know she has such a talent. Yeah. Thank you for using her there to be able to inspire other people.
Right. She is an asset. She is an asset indeed. Now, the hand gestures, they all tell stories, okay? And the lyrics of the song are also a medium, is a medium, all right, of socializing, especially the girls. What the music was saying is that you girls, you need to be very, very careful. When you meet these girls, these boys, they'll be very nice with you. And then when they impregnate you, they will run away from you. So learn to be celibate until you are ready to marry. So it's not only the hand gestures and the leg movements that tell stories or educate young ones, but also the lyrics. So that is what this Adowa dance, okay, this particular one is about. There are different versions of the Adowa dance. The one for the royalty, where they will be using the hand gestures to tell stories, all right? Either to tell about the greatness of the king or the regent, or, you know, to give advice to the community. So these dances and songs and even the drums, you know, they all are endowed or invested with meaning, with morals, with stories, and so forth and so forth. I'm gonna show you some more videos, all right, intermission video, but I just want to have a lot of time now, so I just want to say that the painting by our sister, you know, is depicting the tortoise, all right, with the broken, you know, back and all that. There is a version in Ghana. I know Mr. Osakue said that there are versions, and there is a version in Ghana, but it's not the tortoise per se. Anansi, okay? Anansi the spider went to visit his in-laws, okay? And when he was leaving, he sneaked into the kitchen, and when he went there, he saw
porridge.
Yeah, porridge. But this
Yes.
one they said it was what do you call it? Peanuts, groundnuts, and corn. Okay, it was boiling, and then he stole
his head.
He scooped and put it on his head and put his hat on, and then, you know, back home when you're leaving, visiting, you're leaving, people will see you off, right? And they'll be talking, and so the in-laws were seeing him off, and he was dying. So he kept singing, "My in-laws, please leave me. I can go. Please leave me here." But unfortunately, they didn't know what was going on, so Nancy had to, you know, take off the hats to save his skull. All right, so that's the version there. Okay. Now, anybody with another story, a similar story, or, you know, that we can use to sort of, as I try to get the what do you call it, the intermission video, please feel free to tell your own story.
Can give it a shot. It's about the tortoise and the dog.
Okay.
You know, there was a famine in the village. You know, everybody was skinny, but they look at the dog. It's so fresh. They didn't lose weight. And the tortoise say, "Hey, let's talk. How do you manage to survive this famine?" Then the dog say, "Well, it's a secret. I'm not going to tell you." They say, "Well, after all, we are best friends. You know, tell me what happened, you know." And say, "Okay, go with me early in the morning." So they went to a farm. They stole the farmer's yams. And that's what the dog has been doing. So what happened to the tortoise? He carried more than he could bear. His neck was growing like half an inch. Because he stole a lot of yam. The dog would take like 1 or 2, go home, come back sometimes. so the turtle, carried a lot, and then the dog was moving fast. He didn't want the owner to catch them. And the turtle was yelling, "Wait for me, wait for me. If you don't wait for me, I'm going to yell. The owner will come, take the yam, and send us to the slammer, send us to the jail."
Yeah.
So the dog went fast and got home and broke some couple of eggs and put it in the mouth and pretend it was vomiting. So the owner came, he took the turtle, took the yams. He said, "Yo, you've been the one coming to see the yam." He said, oh no, the dog introduced me to it. He said, "Let's go see the dog." They go to the dog's house. It's in bed. He broke in a couple of eggs, and then they say, the owner said, "Look at the turtle. Look at the dog. He's sick."
Sick.
Look at him. He's throwing up, and you know. And then that's so he took the turtle and the yam. The turtle went to jail.
Yeah.
So that's the story. Don't be greedy.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so
can I say something here?
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
When I was growing up, our parents were always, when you are somebody that is always getting yourself in trouble or one thing or the other, and they look at you and they said, you are like a turtle. You are always in every story.
All right.
I wanted to complete Doctor's story. Can I quickly complete it?
Yes, please go ahead.
So when the tortoise was now in the prison, it was to spend how many years again? 3 years, So at the end, okay, they want to release him now. Okay, so it was about, they now told him, okay, we are going to release you today, by 6 p.m. So when it was 4 p.m., he said, they should be very fast now. This place is smelling, In the sense that he has been there for how many years, So just
it's completely 2
hours remaining. I say, please let's be fast.
Oh my God.
So that was how it ended.
Right. Thank you, Mr.
This is what storytelling is all about.
Right.
Everybody adding onto it.
Exactly. That is very, very true.
Thank you,
so yeah, thank you indeed.
celebration. Good question. It's very unlike our chief not to come out and see us at a celebration like this.
Baba Lele, the drums are silent.
What? He's ill?
He's talking drum is silent. I've spoken.
Oh, he's ill then. No, maybe he's tired. Let's go and see our chief. Whose drums are silent. Visit our elders. Whose drums are ruptured. Is our vocal.
It was dance drama. You could see that the dance was extended for quite a while.
Right.
And then the people, because they didn't understand our own type of drama, they refused to fund us. So, so we just, that's when we arrived from Victoria to this place
Vancouver,
long ago. Yes, that's when we started that drama.
Beautiful.
So they advised us to go to the children, to do the children, raise them up and all that.
That was beautiful. And you see, there is this string of, the string that links all African, dancing and drumming.
Okay, yes.
Storytelling. Exactly. This Pan-African type of thing. It is so beautiful.
Yes.
And also at the same time diverse, right? Diverse and beauty in diversity and unity.
Yes.
It is so beautiful. Let's share our ideas about what we learned today. Let's continue the conversation. Okay, so I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. You appoint one person to be a note taker, and the person will be your spokesperson. Okay, so when we come back, you quickly share what you discussed, the lessons you learned, all right? And then we move on. Okay, so I'm going to do that very, very quickly. So ladies and gentlemen, let's start reporting, sharing our stories, our nuggets of wisdom. And we're going to start with room number 1, breakout room number 1. Spokesperson, let's hear you.
Okay. So for our group, we came out with 4 major points, like 4 major summaries from tonight's event. And the first one is that we noticed that Africa has like a diverse culture, but yet very similar, like across the dancing, the songs and all that. Everybody can vibe and dance to a Nigerian song, to a Cameroonian song. So it's diverse, but yet very similar. And then the second thing that we learned tonight is that the African dancing conveys a story and a lesson, which educates the community. And then Reverend Magdalene mentioned about our costumes that is easily identifiable. Like if anyone is in African print, you know that, yeah, this person is from Africa. So our costumes also easily identifies us. And then the African painting, the last one is the African painting. All of it that was shown by Madam Naomi gives us like a life lesson in which positively impact us in the future, like in the community, not to be stealing, for the youth to still keep their virginity and stuff like that. So yeah, that's everything behind our stories is like a life lesson. And yeah, so that's what we learned for group 1.
Thank you. What a wonderful spokesperson. Thank you. So articulate, so beautiful. All right. So now let's move on to room number 2, and we have Alice, Hinda. Okay, Sister Rebecca. Let's go.
Yes, I was in room number 2. Room number 2, we had the first point about the lady who was not treating her stepdaughter well. And we learned that the story had a moral at the end. It had a lesson which the lady learned, that it is good to treat every child equal. It does not matter whether it is your stepdaughter or your own daughter, treat them like your child. And because she did not treat them well, she learned that at the end, that child was victorious and her own daughter was the loser, and even herself. So that was a big lesson for every mother to learn, or everybody in the community should know that we should treat everyone the same. We are all the same. The second lesson we talked about was the power of storytelling. The motivation that we have gained from what Ma Comfort has been doing with storytelling. So I was saying that I took it lightly and I've forgotten most of the stories. And when I looked around my community within me, I realized that I'm one of the elders to be telling them these stories. Now I have to go back to Africa and learn some of these stories and bring them back. Otherwise, my children will not have any idea about those stories. So we learn the motivations that these stories bring, the symbols that come out of this story, and every other thing about storytelling. It's wonderful. So one lady, I can't remember her name, said she wishes that stages should really continue with this story because the children, they want it. They really need these stories to grow with it. So those are the two things.
Another great spokesperson.
Yes.
Thank you, room number 2. Let's move on to room number 3. And Dr. JOSIAH AKINSANMI
Yes.
is one of them.
Right, and
Yes.
I am the secretary there, and and I would say IB has stolen some of my points, you know. No, really, our culture is very diverse, and we found it to be very colorful, you know, very colorful, and we see that our youth, if we encourage them. You see, when we talk about culture or language, it's not genetical. If you and your children, you go to Japan, you see that the children, they will learn the language faster than the parents because it's not genetical, it's the environment and the willingness, you know, to learn the difference, all these different cultures. So we see that, you know, the children, they acquire confidence when they're in a suitable environment to learn, particularly about our culture. And we see how the youth are willing to learn with assistance once we are able to give them a platform to act by themselves, but encourage them. You know, they encourage them, they will act very smoothly. Moreover, a lot of things require what we call commitment. And they need to know the difference between involvement and commitment. You need to be involved. And not only involved, you need to be committed to it, and everything you're going to learn. Look at the way all the children under Madame Ero, they spoke earlier. And, you know, I know a lot of them, I mean, all of them. And you need to see them before and after. It's because of all this exposure to this, our culture. So those are some of the things we identified right there.
Beautiful. Another great spokesperson. And thank you very much, Doctor, and also room number 3. Now, last but not least, room number 4. Take it away, spokesperson. Room number 4.
I was thinking Mommy Ero would do us the honors. Is Mommy there?
I think she's muted.
Yeah, she's muted.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, ma.
Yes. Yes. They've said everything. When I was younger, we were doing all these things by ourselves because the last music you gave us to look at now, that was that took place in the year 2004 or 2005, just before they gave us those things they give you to make you official in the state. So by the time we acted that play, it was a dance drama thing. It was not very easy because they refused to fund us. We had to bring things ourselves. We had to bring the money out to that. And then while we were acting, somebody from a university downtown asked me who funded the program. And I said, nobody. They refused to fund us. And she on her own, after getting home, sent money to us. But after that, it was so, the event was so, what do I call it now? It sapped our energy. It drained our energy that I just said, oh, if they are not going to help us, because the participants were adults already, then we better go to the children. That's how we came into the children too. And with the children, we had lots of scholarship and money for them to go to school and all that. So we liked it very much. And Madam Rebecca, Madam Rebecca said something. Naomi also said something. They all liked it, but we don't know how we can, because they looked at our theater as a different thing. They have their own theater, but they think that is African theater. Nobody wanted to take part in it. So I don't know what again I should say now, because
thank you, madam. You did very well. Thank you for
but if Naomi and Mama Juga can say something else, then
all right. Okay,
Dr. Adade, I have a quick question for madam.
Okay.
Can I?
Yes.
Madam,
yes, certainly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
From your experience back and what you see now,
yes.
I think there are more interest in African arts and culture
now
than what it was before. Is it not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
I just wanted to see something.
Since, and also I can say it not because Mr. Osakue is here now. It's because of when you have a board that is very interested, then those people who are in charge of the dance and everything can do the thing very well. This board, I can say, are so interested, not because Mr. Osakue is here, all of them, they have been so marvelous. So I thank them very much too. So,
thank you, madam. Thank you so
madam.
very much.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
So I can see some, comments in the chat room. I'm going to read them.
Yeah.
This song is from the Bamilekes
yes.
in
That's
Cameroon.
In
Yeah.
Cameroon.
Oh,
Cameroon.
your ethnic group. Okay, beautiful.
Yes.
Okay. And then another say, okay, Mulungi says, wow, that reminds me of the good time we had.
Yes, that's Veronique. She was part of the group. Yes.
Very good. And then that was a lot of work and rehearsal. All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. Hinda. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The few things that I want to say for overall what I have learned here today in my observation. Like, I catch you guys when it was going on, I think the video number 2, where it was telling his story about colonial and everything. And what I have paid attention to there, it was Professor PLO, as he mentioned about trading in the continent. We should be very careful for that. And in lately, I see China have spread it all over in Africa. And wondering every country like what to do. In the whole entire of the African continent, as I focus a lot, the political pre-independence and political post-independence. And here we are, it's only Kenya have changed the constitution since after the colonial. And every other country are using the colonial constitution that was helped by the colonial. And the treaty can be changed in any time. The minute we change our constitution or we add something or we remove something, we just, every country as they try like to do renovation and read out any kind of treaty that foolish leader have signed it, can be cleared out. That's something that I just have learned from the university in here, how to change constitutions and how to create constitution or how to manipulate the politics when it comes to the treaty. In the video 3, as it has talked about a lady who was founder of a newspaper, and I didn't write, I think her name is, the newspaper name is
Anshad, her name is Anshad.
Clarion newspaper, the newspaper.
Yeah, Clarion, that's right, yeah. But her name was
Yeah.
Anshad, her last name is Anshad, yeah.
Yes, and that it no longer continue, I think that kind
Adrian.
of, but if we can revive it from where it is, I think there is a way that we can revive it.
Beautiful.
And it's better for us to revive, not to leave it there.
Okay.
Yeah. And about the African dancing, in here, in the Western world, they use what is called and exercising, but our African dancing, it was healing, it was exercise, it was a kind of medicine for everything in our body structure and everything. And for now, as long as we stay and we don't do it, the more we forget and the more we become more of a piece and the more loose of body structure, culture, and also cultural loose, because we need that one to consider, especially our body structure and our healthy wise. And when it comes to the stories, the storytelling, I think this is storytelling, no matter what comes, colorful, the stories, the color that we wear, the clothes, and the color that we have in the continent, especially when it comes to the weather, when it comes to the plant, when it comes to the water, it's a lot of enjoyment that we don't even see it until we miss it. So for that one, I think all the things that I have seen it tonight, if we can put or we can make our own African traditional museum for just storytelling for kids, will be the best.
Yeah.
And not at the last, sometimes we criticize stepmom, something that I have seen in the African countries. I come from a family of 79 wives.
Oh. Of what?
I come from the
79.
There you go.
79.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I come from the last wife.
79.
79.
Really?
Yes, and I come from the last wife.
Wow.
And my mom, she ran away from Somali, born and brought up in Kenya. And I lost my dad when I was young, and I lost also mom too, age of 7.5. And, our last born, he was 2 months old, and my stepbrothers and stepsisters taken good care of us. And she breastfed our last born breastfeed with her daughter. And as we are brought up by step brothers and step mom and step sisters, I mean, as like a mom, they really take good care of us the best way as they can. Else maybe know about my history of being a breast cancer survivor. And the minute that I got sick with cancer, everyone had to like forget about properties that we have share it, that we owned in Italy and we owned in the country, and some we own in Ireland and also in UK. So all the properties we had to sell it, cash it as quick as they can in order for me to be in a healthy, better healthy wise.
Wow.
In Munich, and been living with me, each and every one of them taking turn in Munich for my health and rehabilitation for everything. And that is thing come from a stepmom. And my stepmom, her sister came from Saudi Arabia. They had to come back to the country. She had no children. She bring up my stepbrothers and sisters back in Italy. And then when they grown up, she decided to move in Saudi Arabia and stay there since she have no kids, and the children she brought up, they have spread it into the world. When we lost our mom, she had to come and stayed with us. And something that I have remembered her, when I go to the toilet, I used to scream and call somebody to help me. And when she came, one day she pinched my hands and told me, listen, you have to use the tissue and then wash it yourself. Nobody will come and help you. You are a big girl now. And she have been saying like, you guys, you are spoiling these kids. They have no dad. How will they survive in this world? And there was a big war between mom's side and dad's side, because each one of them, they were fighting for us to be part of their territories or they are taken care of. But it never happened until children right, human right, so many different kind of right had to come and intervene through boycotts and everything. And everyone, I know they have spent a lot of money because of us. But when we grow up, we go whatever side that we want. And sometimes we may charge the like African women or African mom or our traditional way, but those are African who did for us like this. We have been brought up with that we can. And like every time that I'm cooking, I have to call and tell like, you know what, I need a help today. And I get through by Zoom, everything starts for me, and then I go to the market and buy, and then she cooks with me, some of my sisters. And today, very early in the morning, I wanted to make something, but she make me to Zoom babysit for her grandchildren. So then sometime we may charge something. And this kind of stories I have been hearing since I was growing up, from like, you guys, are you taking care of like a stepmom or a stepsisters? And like, yes. So sometimes people, I don't know what they think about it, but we have never had any kind of like bad trait or anything. And everyone was used to cry when sometimes we cry. And some people used to say like, when we were in Kenya, and then they used to say, our neighbor, like, don't be like these kids, okay? These are typical white privileged behavior. I give you birth, but these kids are born from the eye. Be careful. So as we were like that. And then now I really appreciate when I see like what the people's mind are, or how the way sometimes people think is totally different. Yeah.
Right. Oh, wow. This is heavy. This is heavy. You mixed politics with culture, with family stories, unity.
No, because I put into the numbers, like I catch video number 2 was about politics. Video number 3 it was about the what do I call, about the movie, about the newspaper, and then followed by the girls who are dancing. And
right.
that as an exercise, I put as something good anyway.
Very good. I just wanted to thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for stringing all these things together, all right? And being so brave, you know, to share your intimate family stories with us. It's a very wonderful story, very, very wonderful lesson, at least for me. I don't know about others, but it's a very great, you know, story, you know, for us to, you know, really, really learn from.
Sorry,
God
can I
bless
just
you.
ask a quick question?
Yeah, yes, sister, go ahead.
Sister, this is a beautiful story you've told us. I believe it's because of the different parts of West Africa that we are. But I would like to know, from what part of Africa are you?
I am from Somalia.
Sudan?
Somalia.
Oh, Somalia. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Thank you. It's a beautiful story, and your story has given me an idea to also be able to talk about, you know, to children about stepmoms as well. You know, I can just come up with a story that can say the good and what stepmoms can do, and what stepbrothers and sisters can do. But, you know, because of the culture where we come from in West Africa, we have a lot of stepmoms that do things that it's unbelievable, you know. And then we do have a few that are good, but those few are not really heard of, you know. So thank you so much for being able to tell us your story, and we can share, you know, make it into a story and be able to tell people that stepmoms are also wonderful people.
Beautiful. Wow, what a summary. It's a very great summary, Sister Naomi, yeah, that's right. I can't forget Naomi. All right. So we have come to the end of our event today. I'm going to play the last video, and before that, we're going to have the closing prayer from Reverend Nungu. So let's pray.
Okay, Father, we want to say we are so thankful. We are so thankful for this opportunity to be able to keep our culture alive. Because, Lord, if we don't expose this culture and manifest it, they will die. But nothing that you created can die so long as there are people to carry. There is time for everything. Ecclesiastes 3 verses 11 says there is time for everything under the sun. This is a time for us to revive the culture, to run with our culture, and to keep it alive and pass it on to our next generation. I want to thank you for the diversity in the wonderful culture you've made for us. Just like parts of the body of Christ that you liken the part of human body, the hand cannot tell the eye that I don't need you. The eye cannot tell the legs that I don't need you, nor the mouth or the ear. No matter how little the part is, it's very important. We pray for oneness. We pray for unity. We pray, oh God, that together we shall foster that which you have given to us, and we are proud of it. For you made all of us in your image and in your likeness, and you look at it and you said it was good. Whatever God does is good. And tonight we want to say thank you for the fact that we are Africans. Thank you for our heritage. Thank you that anyone that is repugnant to both conscience and godliness, we shall reject that. And any part of the culture that promotes kindness and love, will uphold them. Give us the grace and the enablement. We thank you for all the speakers that virtue has gone out of them and you replenish them in 100-fold. We bring in front of you especially Dr. Charles, who has been piloting all the 8 groups and everything, especially for this moment. We just give you every glory and every honor and every adoration. In Jesus' wonderful name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. That was beautiful. Very good.
Okay,
Lovely.
thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Okay, good
Bye.
night. Asante sana.
Yeah.
Bye, Hilda.
Bye-bye.
Lalene salama.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay.